Right friends, we are going to discuss current affairs for the second week of this year. We have already started this series last week. So, as usual, we will have one lecture of almost 30 minutes duration, as well as discussion of questions and answers, that is 2 lectures of 30 minutes each. So, for every week, you are required to spend around 1.5 hours with me so as to have complete picture of current affairs across the world by giving more importance to the affairs of the Indian Union, right? So what are the important news of this week? Every one of you know that it is, of course, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Then comes Governor's rule in Jammu and Kashmir, Vibrant Gujarat Summit, Theme for Nithi Yoke, inauguration of Vistara, the new airline. So these are some of the important news making rounds during the week. Remember, this lecture is for second week of this year, that is between 5th of January to 11th of January. So we are going to discuss various events pertaining to 5th of January to 11th of January in this lecture series. So look at the first one. The first and the foremost one is commissioning the Nithi Yoke, National Institution for Transforming India Yoke. I once again repeat, it is National Institution for Transforming India Yoke, which is known as Nithi Yoke. Nithi means in Hindi, the meaning of Nithi is policy. It replaced Planning Commission. Planning Commission came into existence in the year 1950. So from 1st January 2015, it will be Nithi Yoke. The previous policy of that Planning Commission was top-down approach. Now, this Nithi Yoke came into existence. In the Prime Minister's own words, it is bottom-up approach. That means the things required at the ground level will be coordinated into the Nithi Yoke framework. That is the main meaning of Nithi Yoke. So let us see how the structure of Nithi Yoke is going to be. As usual, the chairperson is the Prime Minister, or chairman is the Prime Minister, and for this Nithi Yoke, vice chairman is Mr. Arvind Panagaria. Mr. Arvind Panagaria is the famous economist of Indian American origin, and he is the professor at Columbia University and PhD from Princeton University, has got lot of expertise in economic matters, and he also wrote one book, Tryst with the Destiny, along with Mr. Jagdish Bhagwati. Tryst with Destiny along with Jagdish Bhagwati, and he is the proponent of Gujarat model of development. When Mr. Narendra Modi was the chief minister, the development model which he followed, that was appreciated by Mr. Arvind Panagaria. So Arvind Panagaria became the vice chairman of this newly constituted Nithi Yoke, National Institution for Transforming India Yoke. Let us look at the 2 permanent members. I have already told you it consists of chairman, vice chairman, 2 permanent members. One of the members is Mr. Vivek Debroy. He is the famous economist of Indian origin, Mr. Vivek Debroy. He worked with Center for Policy Research. And the other member is Mr. V.K. Saraswat. V.K. Saraswat is the famous scientist. And he was Secretary R&D for defense establishments, and as well as he was the main man behind development of Prithvi missile. And he was also awarded Padma Shri. So the 2 members are stalwarts. One is Vivek Debroy, the other one is V.K. Saraswat, and CEO is also there for this Nithi Yoke. CEO is Sindhu Shri Kullar, who is the 75 batch IAS officer. Right? This is the structure of Nithi Yoke chairman is the Prime Minister, vice chairman is Arvind Panagaria, then two permanent members. The two permanent members are Mr. Vivek Debroy as well as Mr. V.K. Saraswat. CEO is Mrs. Sindhusri Kullar. And now let us look at the ex officio members. There are 4 ex officio members, important union cabinet ministers. One is the Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, the Finance Minister, Arun Jaitley, the Railway Minister, Suresh Prabhu, Agriculture Minister, Radha Mohan Singh. So these 4 are the ex officio members of this Niti Ayog, and special invitees are 3 cabinet ministers. One is Minister for Highways, Nitin Gadkari, then HRD Minister Smriti Irani, and Minister for Social Justice Empowerment, Mr. Gehlot. So these 3 ministers will be special invitees. So this is the basic structure of Niti Ayog. Please remember, Niti Ayog came into existence in the place of Planning Commission, right? So let us look at the next issue of this week. Government of India decided to auction airwaves, basically called 2G spectrum. They auction airwaves in specific band. This next month they are going to auction airwaves of 2G spectrum in the bands of 800 megahertz, 900 megahertz and 1800 megahertz. Remember, last year February we had auction and government got around 62,000 crore rupees. Government got 62,000 crore rupees, and by auction of these airwaves in these 3 bands, government is expected to get 64,800 crores. Government is expected to get 64,800 crores, and 3G spectrum of 2100 megahertz band is going to be auctioned shortly, is also going to be auctioned shortly, but there is an issue with the defense which is being sorted out by the Union Cabinet. Right? At present, 2G spectrum is going to be auctioned in 3 bands, that is 800 megahertz, 900 megahertz and 1800 megahertz, which is likely to fetch 64,800 crores of rupees, right? So let us move on to the next issue. This is about 13th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. What exactly is Pravasi Bharatiya Divas? Look at the picture, Mr. Modi addressing the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas gathering. This Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was primarily started in the year 2003 when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of this country. It was started in the year 2003. Since then, it is being held every year. So this year's edition is 13th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. What is the main purpose of this Pravasi Bharatiya Divas? The main purpose of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is to bring knowledge, skill, expertise of the global Indians on a common platform. Skill, expertise, knowledge of the global Indians on the common platform. That is the main goal of this Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. This is the 13th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, which was held at Mahatma Mandir, Gandhi Nagar, Gujarat. The Prime Minister Modi addressed the gathering. Then, who was the chief guest? Mr. Donald Ramotar, the President of Guyana, was the chief guest. Mr. Ramotar, who is the President of Guyana, is the chief guest for Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, and in this connection, Prime Minister announced a line of credit of $60 million to Guyana. Prime Minister of India announced $60 million to Guyana, and Prime Minister also inaugurated Dandi Kutir, which is the museum dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi. So Dandi Kutir was also inaugurated by the Prime Minister on this occasion. So the chief guest is Donald Ramotar is the chief guest, who is the President of Guyana. And also I would like to remind you, Minister for International Relations Minister for International Relations of South Africa, as well as Vice Prime Minister of Mauritius also attended this conclave, and almost 4,000 members from 60 countries participated, and India has about 25 million NRIs and 7 million PIOs. NRIs, non-resident Indians. PIOs means persons of Indian origin. So total Indian diaspora has 25 million NRIs and 7 million PIOs, and Prime Minister in this connection stated that PIO members will get lifetime visa. That means they will get visa for life, right? And PM also announced that 43 countries will get visa on arrival. And remember, in this connection, stamps of rupees 25 and rupees 5 as well as coins of rupees 100 and rupees 10 have also been released. So, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is being held every year since 2003, and this year Prime Minister inaugurated this at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. And in this connection, special commemorative stamps of rupees 5 and rupees 25 as well as special coins of rupees 100 and rupees 10 have also been released. Right? Look at the next one. Governor's rule imposed in Jammu and Kashmir. You all very well know. Elections to Jammu and Kashmir were held recently. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly has got 87 assembly seats, and out of which People's Democratic Party headed by Mehbooba Mufti got 28 seats, Bharatiya Janata Party got 25 seats, National Conference got 15 seats, Congress got 12 seats, others got 7 seats. So, to form the government, it requires the support of 44 members of the assembly. But no two parties could come to the conclusion, because the ideology of the Bharatiya Janata Party as well as the ideology of PDP or National Conference is entirely different. So they could not come to the understanding to form the government. That's why governor's rule was imposed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir under Article 92 of the J&K Constitution. So under Article 92, governor's rule was imposed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So Mr. N.N. Vora is the governor of Jammu and Kashmir. Right? Previously, governor's rule was imposed in the year 2008. Right? Look at the next issue. It is Vibrant Gujarat Summit. What is Vibrant Gujarat Summit? It was held in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, the capital city of Gujarat. So, the main purpose of Vibrant Gujarat Summit is to get investments from the industrialists across the world. That means to showcase the state of Gujarat as the investment destination. Come here, please invest. We are ready to give all facilities required. That's the main theme of Vibrant Gujarat Summit. Vibrant Gujarat Summit, I would like to remind you, the brainchild of this Vibrant Gujarat Summit is Mr. Narendra Modi, the then Chief Minister of Gujarat. And he started in the year 2003. It is the biannual affair. That means the summit is being held once in 2 years, and this is the 7th summit. This is the 7th summit, and many businessmen and industrialists committed lot of investment for the state. I would like to tell 2-3 examples. One is Mr. Mukesh Ambani committed the investments of almost 1 lakh crore during the next 12 to 18 months. And Adani Enterprises and Sun Edison of United States of America came forward to invest almost $4 billion near Mundra in Gujarat, so as to develop photovoltaic facility. So So to develop photovoltaic facility, they came up with investments of almost $4 billion. At the same time, Aditya Birla Group also announced investments worth 20,000 crores. Right? So this is the 7th Vibrant Gujarat Summit, which attracted a lot of investment. I would like to remind you, during the past 6 summits, almost 40 lakh crores of investments were committed by various industrialists, out of which only 10% of investments could materialize finally. That means many people commit, but ultimately when it comes to the implementation, very few will implement it. Right? The important participants of this Vibrant Gujarat Summit: the Honorable Prime Minister of this country, Mr. Narendra Modi, then the World Bank President, Jim Yong Kim, then Mr. Ban Ki-moon, UN Secretary General, and US Secretary of State, John Kerry. These 4 participated in the Vibrant Gujarat Summit. Remember, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, then World Bank President, Jim Yong Kim, then UN Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon, and US Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry. Right? So, if you look at their statements for a while, the Prime Minister announced that FDI in railways, insurance and defense sectors have been made open for the global investors after the new government came to power. The second statement is India is the 3D destination. In the words of the Prime Minister, the 3D is democracy, demography and demand. Democracy, demography and demand. Right? And the World Bank President says that India is poised for 6.4% growth this year. Then US Secretary of State says we are for sustainable development. Sustainable development means without harming the ecology of the world. Right? So these are some of the statements or comments by the world leaders at Vibrant Gujarat Summit. Remember, Vibrant Gujarat Summit is being held once in every 2 years. Right? Okay, the next one, there was some dispute. I could not call it as a dispute, and I have to say that India objected to an incident recently. I would like to explain what exactly the incident is. Recently, US Secretary of State certified that Pakistan is taking all necessary steps to prevent the terrorist activities from that land, especially with regard to Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. That means Pakistan has taken all the steps to contain the terrorist activities from its land, and they certified also, US Secretary of State. Based on the certification, United States of America announced an aid of $532 million to Pakistan. $532 million to Pakistan. But Government of India strongly objected to it, as Government of India feels that Pakistan is the country behind the proliferation of lot of terrorist groups like Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. So Government of India took strong objection to the statement given by the Secretary of State that Pakistan has taken necessary steps to prevent terrorist activities from its land. However, the United States of America finally told that they have not given aid to the Pakistan. Right? So the matter ended with the statement of the United States that they have not given any aid to Pakistan. So India strongly feels that Pakistan is aiding and abetting terrorists, and Pakistan always denies these allegations. This is the continuous affair going on for past several years. Right? Let us look at the next unfortunate event which occurred during the week, which involved the death of 10 journalists along with 2 policemen. I would like to tell the brief history about this. Charlie Hebdo is the satirical magazine published from Paris in France for several years, they were drawing the cartoons. At the same time, several Muslim organizations protested strongly as some of the cartoons of Charlie Hebdo hurt the sentiments of Muslim religion, and in protest against it, and as a matter of protest, in fact, a firebomb attack was also done in the year 2011 in the Charlie Hebdo office in Paris. But the magazine continued to draw the cartoons which hurts the religious sentiments of one sections of society. Ultimately, during this week, two masked terrorists entered the office of Charlie Hebdo in Paris of France and fired indiscriminately, killing total 12 people. The editor-in-chief of the magazine was also killed, along with 9 other journalists and 2 policemen. Total 12 people lost their lives. In this particular case, there is intense debate going on across the world. One section of the society feels that our actions should not hurt the sentiments of particular society, particular people's faith, and the other section of society feels that liberty of expression should be the hallmark of democracy and should be the fundamental right. These two intense debates are going on, one in favor of freedom of expression and the other in favor of not hurting the sentiments of particular religion, and it is up to you to decide exactly what should be the course of action to prevent such incidents in future. Right? Anyhow, the incident is unfortunate and the debate is going on, and let us see some good sense and better sense will prevail in future. Right? In Sri Lanka, Mahinda Rajapaksa lost. Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was considered to be the strong man in Sri Lanka politics, who was the man behind the victory of the Sri Lankan army over the LTTE group in the year 2009, was lost in the elections with a 4% margin. Right? He was contesting for the third time. As per the original Sri Lanka constitution, president cannot contest for more than 2 times. Then he amended the constitution to contest for the third time. That is first thing. Second thing is, he called for elections 2 years before the schedule. That means he got a lot of confidence that he will definitely win. But he lost. He lost by 4% of the votes. He got around 47%, whereas Mr. Maitripala Sirisena, who was considered as the underdog, got elected as the president of Sri Lanka and he got 51% of the votes. What is the main reason for the loss of Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa? I would like to tell 2 things. One is, Tamils in the northern territory of Sri Lanka voted for Mr. Maitripala Sirisena. Second thing is, there is a terrorist organization of Buddhists, Vodu Bala Sena, which is committing atrocities against Muslims. So, entire Muslim fraternity came forward and united to vote against Mr. Rajapaksa. So, because of the voting by the northern region Tamilians, whereas the Muslims en masse to Mr. Maitripala Sirisena, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa is lost. So, now the newly elected president is Mr. Maitripala Sirisena in Sri Lanka. Right? And I would like to tell you, there is a feeling that Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa was tilting towards China in comparison to India, but there is a feeling now that Mr. Maitripala Sirisena will take a balanced view, not to allow the country to tilt towards China. That is the expectation in the Indian circles. Right? The next one. Vistara. This is the new airline in the country. Inaugural flight was from Delhi to Mumbai on 9th of January, and Vistara is the joint venture of Tata Sons and Singapore Airlines. Now the FDI allowed in airline sector is 49%. Tata Sons share is 51% and Singapore Airlines share is 49%. The new airline was flown from Delhi to Mumbai on 9th of January. It is a joint venture of Tata Sons as well as Singapore Airlines. I would like to remind you, Tata Sons or Tata Group was the first to enter into the airline sector in the country. In the year 1929, JRD Tata got first pilot's license, and subsequently first commercial flight of the country was flown in the year 1932 by Tata Airlines, and subsequently it has gone public and the name was changed to Air India in the year 1946. Subsequently, Air India was nationalized in the year 1953. So Tatas were the first to enter into the airline sector. Now I can say this is the second time they are venturing into the airline sector with the joint venture of Singapore Airlines. The name of the airline is Vistara, right? The next one. Science and mythology. I would like to complete this lecture with these things. Recently, Indian Science Congress, 102nd Indian Science Congress was held in the premises of Bombay University, and during the discussions, some of the statements of the reputed guests caused lot of what you call intense debate among the science fraternity in the country. Some of the statements are, look at this statement. The Honorable Prime Minister of the country gave this statement. Hindu god Ganesh stands as evidence that ancient Indians pioneered the art of plastic surgery. Because of plastic surgery, the form of Ganesh took place. That was the, in the words of the Prime Minister, it is evident that plastic surgery was made known to India almost a lot of generations ago. And look at the another statement given by Mr. Harshvardhan. Indian mathematicians discovered Pythagorean theorem and gracefully allowed Greeks to take credit. And the statements by some other scientists, look at these statements. Bacteria in cow dung could turn objects into solid gold. Bacteria in cow dung could turn objects into solid gold. And look at another statement. About 7,000 years ago, there were planes moving from one planet to another. This was the statement given by another person from India. So this has raised intense debate. Where is the dividing line between science and mythology? And this debate goes on in this country because these statements came out during the Indian Science Congress held at Bombay University, 102nd Indian Science Congress held at Bombay University, right? So with these things, we are concluding this lecture part, and please do listen to question and answer session for this week, so as to have complete picture of the turn of the events during this week, right? Have a nice day. Thank you.